Welcome to this week's episode of Local Threads. I'm Molly, your host, and this week I'm sitting down with Jeff Palmer, the artist, filmmaker, and designer behind Pixel Palmer. Jeff and I talk about his journey through the arts, filmmaking, music videos, a little bit of ghosts, and one may or may not be in the room with us when we are talking, so sorry about that, I guess. Let's get into it. Okay.
Hey, cheers.
Cheers. Welcome to this undisclosed recording session of Local Threads.
Yeah, secret clandestine location.
This is Luna.
Hey, Luna.
She's gonna be co-starring today.
Yeah, Luna, come here.
This chair is also making noise.
Right. Yeah.
So that's a problem.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Of course that would happen.
Yeah.
I just have to be really still.
Thanks for having me on Local Threads.
Yeah. So you live in New Bedford, or your studio's only in New Bedford?
Well, the shop in its current iteration,
Yeah.
is in New Bedford. I live in Marion. I never knew about Marion until I met Anita, my fiance. But yeah, I live in Marion, and we live together, and it's a wonderful place. I'm just grateful to have met someone. It doesn't matter where we lived,
Yeah.
where we'd end up, but that's where we are now. And she's originally from Philly. I'm from New Hampshire.
Okay.
Yeah,
What
spent
part
some-
of New Hampshire?
Seacoast. So you ever been up to like Portsmouth?
I've heard
New
of
Hampshire?
it.
Yeah, Portsmouth. I grew up in Dover, born in Dover, New Hampshire. I worked in high school. I worked at Tuttle's Red Barn, which was America's oldest family farm.
Oh, cool.
Established in 1632, I believe.
Is it
I
still
remember
around?
that because it was like on the push cart, like established 1632.
Is it still around?
Yeah. I think it was
cool.
sold. I think the family sold it. But it's still a functioning farm.
No, what I've noticed here, like, there's so much more local food production and more farmers markets and things like that. I don't know if it's like now that it's happening more, or has it always been like that around here?
The growing season here is short, right?
Yeah.
When I lived in California, so I was in Davis, California for about 6 years. And that's UC Davis, it's between the Bay Area and Sacramento. And I got to tell you, that was my eye opener in terms of year-round farmers markets and
Yeah.
year-round fruit and produce. And every Saturday there was this massive farmers market, and that to me was, even though growing up in New England we had gardens and produce and all that, but the idea of like going to a farmers market,
Yeah.
it didn't really strike me until we ended up there.
Yeah, I mean, there's one right down the road, and they have like the CSAs you sign up for.
Yeah.
I don't know what that stands for.
I think it's I don't know.
You pay.
It's
It's a subscription for food,
Community
essentially.
something. I don't know.
Yeah.
CSA. We
You
should
get a
look that
box
up.
of food. It's
Yeah.
great.
Alexa, what is?
Yeah. No Alexas at this place. But, oh, wow. Do we have a ghost? Probably.
I love ghosts. Do you like ghosts?
That was one of the questions I was going to ask you.
Oh, okay.
So I was going to ask you, one, have you had a paranormal experience? Or two, depending on the answer.
I've had experiences that are very kind of spine-chilling, coincidental, bizarre confluence of things that just align in a way that you're like, how is this possible? And you
Yeah.
want me to tell you a story? I'll try to
Yeah.
make it brief because speaking of Tuttle's Red Barn, where I worked, in the greenhouse, I worked in the greenhouse department area, and there was a stray cat that would come in. And eventually someone's like, does anyone, what are we going to do with this cat? So I took the cat home, and then it became my grandmother's cat on my mom's side, my nanny. We called her Nanny. And so she had the cat. She named it Sammy. And she had a piano at her place, and so Sammy would like go up and down the piano and play music, and she found that very charming. Anyway, time goes on. My grandmother died. We adopted the cat.
The piano playing cat.
The piano playing cat,
Yeah.
yeah, Sammy, who was this big, fluffy gray. I mean, just a really lovey cat,
Yeah.
kind of like a Garfield. And then over time, Sammy developed, I think it was like liver disease or something, and so we had to eventually put him down. It was super sad. And the day that we put him down, it was an in-home euthanasia. We had a background NPR on. Remember Garrison Keillor's Prairie Home Companion was on, and they would usually have piano guests or musical guests. And as we were kind of in the midst of giving them the shots and everything, the favorite song of my grandmother, which was it Claire de Lune or I think it was a Schumann song, Traumerei.
Oh, okay.
It was called Traumerei, and I included it in my feature film because it was my grandmother's favorite song, came on the radio.
Oh, wow.
So the connection between my grandmother's favorite song, Sammy, and all of a sudden it's on the radio while we're putting him. It was this kind of odd, bizarre, like her spirit was kind of there. It was just, so it's kind of like, even just talking about it is like, whoa, that was just a weird, bizarre coincidence.
Yeah, that's not a normal, like something you hear on the radio all the time.
Yeah, exactly. And it just,
She was ushering him home.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's really cool.
So I feel like that was a spiritual or a, what did you?
Paranormal.
Paranormal. I think it was.
Yeah.
I wonder who's with us.
I don't know. Go away.
Do you get vibes here?
So no, the places that I have had vibes at mostly have been Louisiana.
Okay.
Where I grew up, the house I grew up in.
Yeah.
It was super scary.
Yeah. In what way?
So my grandmother died in the home.
Okay.
And I think also someone else died there.
Yeah.
We did not have a phone most of the time, just economically.
Then it would have been landline, right?
Yeah, just didn't have the money to pay for a phone bill or whatever, something. But so if we did have a phone, it wasn't usually plugged into the wall jack. My grandmother did die on the phone. So we would hear phones ringing and someone answering the phone. And so it was very creepy.
Wow.
Yeah. And I think we had an auction when she died, like an estate sale, but it was pretty big because she was a farmer.
Okay. Was it a big house?
No, it was a small, like 1920s house, but
Okay.
It had 75 acres and farm equipment.
Oh, wow.
And,
Wow. 75 acres.
Yeah.
Wow.
So my mom and her sisters were arguing in the garage, and things were flying off the shelf because my grandmother was
For
mad.
real?
I mean, I've only heard that story secondhand, but that's not something that,
That's
growing up in the 90s as a kid, you find a Ouija board, you're going to play with it, and then naturally we did.
for sure.
So I probably lived in a portal. Oh my God, this chair. I'll just not stop moving. So I'm just frozen in time.
What are you going to do? If there's squeaks, there's squeaks.
Yeah.
Huh. So, when you use the Ouija board, did you ever have one of those, oh my God, this is real?
Well, I mean, I never felt like I was moving it.
Right.
Whether that's a Jedi mind trick or not. And all my friends wanted to play with it. And eventually I had to just stop because it told one of my friends the day and time they were going to die. And now they're forever traumatized,
Wait, has it, and are you still in touch with that friend?
Yeah, but I don't remember what he said that the day and time was. So I just, but every time I've seen him, he's brought it up.
Oh, wow. So he must remember.
Yeah. He's
Hopefully
definitely
he's
not.
beyond.
Yeah, hopefully. Well, I don't know if there's a year attached to it, So it's just you just got to every year think about that.
Wow,
that's
what a great premise of a movie or story, just knowing when you're going to die and
it would suck.
or when something might happen like that.
Yeah. I wonder how you would live differently. I would probably just be curled up in a ball, knowing me. But I had a couple of friends that played with it. They left my house and their tire fell off. All the lug nuts fell off.
Wow.
which, you know,
That's
rare.
very, very
Yeah.
unlikely for
Yeah.
that to happen.
Yeah, it did. And it's strange. So I don't know.
Yeah. I used a Ouija board once at a Christmas party, at a Halloween party. It was high school, and it was a homemade Ouija board. And someone spilled wax on it. It was a candle, so wax got spilled on it. And at one point, I think it said, we were asking, like, somehow wax came up as a.
Yeah.
So it was, it's reacting to the wax. And I had the same thing. That we weren't moving it. It was.
Yeah.
It just really felt like it was moving, and everyone kind of freaked out, and it got the spooky chills and everything.
Yeah. Those moments of the unexplainable are just.
I love that.
They're
I think
fun.
there should be. I was thinking about mysteries. That's what I love about mystery. Whether it's books or TV series or crime thriller, like there's something about not knowing.
Yeah.
Who how did this person die, or how did this, what's the secret? And
Yeah.
always trying to like uncover the secret. I think that's, there's something about that. Without that in life, I don't know if,
Yeah, well, what do we do?
you know,
We'd be so bored.
like if there's
Yeah.
no mystery, if everything's kind of spelled out and face value,
Yeah.
that's boring.
Yeah. I want to believe in vampires and aliens.
I do.
you know?
I do too.
Take me away. Maybe
Yeah.
there's alien
Nowadays,
vampires.
like, please,
Yeah,
just come
exactly.
down and do something.
Save.
Fuck shit up.
Yeah, save me.
Yeah.
I'm cool.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm totally fine with it.
Yeah. So you are a printmaker now. Block
Yeah.
print.
Yep.
Artist.
That's sort of what I'm known for. Yeah.
So how did you go from doing film industry to that?
Yeah. So.
Or actually, let's take it even further back. Did you go to school to do film?
I did. Well, I went to state school in New Hampshire,
Mm-hmm.
Keene State College, which now I think has a much more developed, robust film program among other programs they have. But at the time, it was fledgling film program. But I didn't go to that. That was not my intention. I went to Keene State College because it was in state. It was super cheap.
Yeah.
This was 1989. And it was like, great. It doesn't cost a lot. My mom, at that point was like, we can afford this.
Yeah.
And I didn't know what I really wanted to do. Something about, art, writing, right brain stuff.
Yeah.
And the first semester there, I thought I was going to be Jack Kerouac and write, write the great American novel and all that. And I still love writing. I still write, but it didn't turn out to be my career path. Mm-hmm. And then the second semester, I got into three-dimensional design. So I started to, design chairs and just kind of go deep into, or at least explore what it meant to design in a 3D sense. Mm-hmm. And then sophomore year, first semester, I took a filmmaking class. I took actually an avant-garde class.
Oh, nice.
So avant-garde film. And I'm in this dark theater with all these weirdos and freaks watching bizarre content from the 60s, from the 50s, from the, just all sorts of abstractions,
Yeah.
no real storyline. And I thought,
I love silent film.
this is cool. Yeah, yeah.
Like you get the stories, whatever you.
Yeah. There's so many, I won't go into all the filmmakers' names, but Maya Deren was a big influence. Bruce Conner, Sam Brakhage, blah, blah, blah. So I just kind of fell in love with that crowd, and which also tied into the theater. So it's like acting and plays, which is all like writing characters, environment, atmosphere, music, fabric, costumes. It's like it's all there. And so I was like, you know what? I think this is where I want to do. And I wasn't a very studious person. I was not like, I'm never gonna get
The PhD.
yeah, straight A's. Studying wasn't my thing. I was more into messing around and making videos with my friends. And so I graduated with a film degree, got into some marketing, did some advertising. I worked graphic design. I did some of that, and made some films, made some short films, which weren't really that short, which should have been shorter. Ended up making a feature film had the premiere in 2001.
Oh wow. That's a
Yeah,
year.
2001. In Dover, my hometown, at the local theater, which was a
How
really,
fun.
yeah, it was a really, really fun experience. I mean, a lot of people helped out. It was like early on. I should have edited it.
Yeah.
But it was like, this is my masterpiece. This is
Yeah.
my epic film, and I learned a lot. And then ended up going to California, in Davis, California, for 6 years. Then moved south and yada yada. But in all that time, I was doing video editing, I was doing production, I was doing camera work, I
In
was
the movie
writing.
industry, or
I'd say it's adjacent.
Yeah.
I wasn't like down in LA hustling,
Right.
film wise, but I was in the Venn diagram of like,
Yeah.
oh, your media, your video, your film, all that kind of stuff. And then California was where I started to do a lot of music videos.
Yeah.
Which I really loved.
Yeah.
Because you can, it's a way of interpreting someone else's song
Yeah.
/ writing, and I found that to be very liberating. It was a great experience. The collaboration the process was.
do you
really,
kind of get to have the say when you're the director of that, or just
I kept it very, like, I gave whatever band it was or solo musician, I was like, here's what I see. Here's what I think would work for this song. And
Yeah.
then for the most part, they would get it, but they'd want to, well, what if we did this, or what if, we went in this direction or that direction? And be okay, sure, we could do, modify it and that kind of stuff. But a lot of the times, I found the bands and the musicians were like, hey, you do you. You're
Yeah.
you're the filmmaker. If you think this is going to work, that's great. We'll give you some ideas, or we'll give you some input, but for the most part, this is your project and this is our song, so we come together.
really? I
Yeah.
would think they would be more precious about it.
Yeah, I think that the bands that I've worked with, there was a band that they were like, they didn't know what the heck they wanted, and I was willing to like give them a really cool music video.
Yeah.
I won't I won't say who they were, but they were a young band and they were real kind of hot shot. I was going to put together a very down the pipe, solid music video for them, which is what they wanted. And they needled me with every little thing.
Yeah.
And it's like, I sent them an early edit and they just didn't see the
vision.
potential. Yeah, they
Yeah.
didn't see the vision, or they didn't see like, oh wow, this guy's doing it for free and it looks pretty
Yeah.
cool. They just were, oh, this isn't the direction we want to go as a band. Of course, I don't think they're a band anymore, but
Oh no.
So it's like, all right, I hustled. I was willing to go above and beyond, but they just didn't want that. So
Yeah.
it hasn't happened a lot. I did a really wonderful project with an artist up in Boston, Daniel Laurent, DL as he's known, and called Outside. And it was about inner city youth and the intersection of violence, and it was a real urban setting, and it was about young black adolescents or young black men being targeted. And that was a really strong, compelling song, and it spoke to me, and we really collaborated together on that. And he actually had his son in the video as like a younger version of himself.
That's cool.
And
Is
yeah,
that
it
on
was-
your website?
It is. It's
Okay.
called Outside.
I'll
and
link
a shout
that.
out to DL.
Yeah, I'll link that in the show notes.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
everybody
it's,
can find all your work. So you've done music videos. You did screenwriting
Yep.
as well.
Yep.
You did behind the camera work,
Yep.
both editing and camera.
Yeah, the feature film I made. Yeah, I've done all of that. But the feature film I made in my hometown, I did. I shot it. I produced it. I
Yeah.
directed it. I edited it and wrote
How
it.
fun was that? Because I just imagine it was just fun as hell. You've got nobody breathing down your neck with budget. You can do all the creative things that you want to do.
Yeah.
And you're on your own time.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I loved it. It was independent filmmaking at its finest, but also at its most challenging in terms of like no money,
Yeah.
asking for favors.
Yeah.
And getting a lot of people at that time, it was like, oh, cool, you're making an indie film,
Yeah.
and yeah, I'll help out. Nowadays, it might be good luck with that,
Yeah.
But yeah, I had a lot of friends kind of rally and help out,
Yeah.
and there was some magic that happened, but then there was also some real trying, challenging
Yeah.
days.
I mean, I definitely don't think it was all sunshine and rainbows. But that's kind of how I look at art.
Yeah.
Whenever you are concepting and you're thinking about an idea, you're just like riding high.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you hit that wall of like, oh no, like you guys won't be able to see this, but we just had some technical difficulties because
Oh,
it happens
yeah.
every single time. But it's normally happening after the guest is gone. I'm editing and oh no, I forgot to turn on the audio, and it's just like chaos.
Yeah.
And then if you're not working with a team, you don't have somebody to like pick you up when you're on
No.
when you're down,
And I mean, I've been in situations where I've panicked. You
Yeah.
know? I had a video shoot once where I got back and I thought the mic was plugged in and it wasn't. So there was literally no audio, or the audio that I had was just completely
Yeah.
junk. And so I had to go back to the client and be like, hey, so, and that's not a great feeling.
No, it's not. No. Even with this podcast, like, that's my nightmare. I've
Yeah.
already had to re-record once.
Oh,
but
yeah.
luckily, shout out to Amelia. She was super nice
Amelia,
about it. Yeah,
you rock.
Thank you. I thought I was going to have to re-record like 3,
Yeah.
but my editing skills got better. And
Good.
So,
Yeah, it's tough because you might lose this amazing story,
Yeah.
or and it's hard to
You
put
can't
that.
recreate
Yeah,
that.
that's
Yeah.
lightning in a bottle. So it's like sometimes it's like, let's talk about that story we talked about, and it's not the same.
Yeah.
So yeah, technical difficulties can really throw that monkey wrench in, and we all just have to learn how to keep a
Yeah.
cool head, or pivot and just be like, you know what, like I had when I was shooting the feature. And again, it's like a really micro budget feature, but there was this one location that was like, I was so,
set on.
so set on, exactly. Just like, this is where it's going to be. We show up, there's construction happening. So the audio was going to be a total disaster. But I was like, you know what? I'll put on my filmmaking hat and just go, we'll shoot it from afar. We'll have them walking. We'll get all these different angles. And then we'll go record the audio up in the cemetery where there's just birds chirping or
Yeah.
whatever. So I made it work. And so there was no like synced audio of the couple walking.
Yeah.
It was just edited in such a way you didn't,
Yeah.
And it worked out.
Yeah.
Maybe it was the best situation I could have come up with.
Those are the best moments in hindsight, of course, because you learn
Yeah. Oh,
so
big time.
much in failure. Not failure, but like,
Yeah.
I guess it is, failure.
Well, it's like you learn so much in the face of adversity, in the face of like, being forced to change it up.
Yeah.
Like you're not going to get what you want.
Yeah.
So what are you going to do? Well, do you send everyone? Do you bitch about it, or do you just go, all right, let's see what we can do?
Yeah,
And
exactly.
if you've done it enough, those muscles of adaptation
Yeah.
are a little more. They're a little refined, so you can be
Yeah.
like, you know what, let's do it this way, or you know what, we're going to be able to do it tomorrow. I'm not going to worry about it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, just kind of like
Life's like that too.
exactly like pulling out of that turbulence.
Yeah. Yeah.
So film and video, and then music videos, and then writing. I was working with this media creative agency in Providence, and I was their director. And so basically that meant I would go in and ask the questions,
Yeah.
kind of glad hand the client and get them comfortable sitting in opposite me, and then the cameras and lights and everything. And I still do that freelance work, but when the pandemic hit, a lot of that work dried up, or a lot of that work was put on hold. And that's when I started to do some artwork, and it also came about with Breonna Taylor and George Floyd and the protests and Black Lives Matter and like all that really just came to a fever pitch.
Yeah.
And I went to some protests, and I started to do some art that was sort of, I just call it protest art, but it's just sort of in your face art, you know,
Yeah.
and it was mostly painting. And so that's when I started to, I guess, open that book again of
Yeah.
of doing artwork that I've done in the past, but not to the extent that I've done since, since the pandemic. And so I just started to do more and more painting. I started to get into spray paint art, and then I started to vend. Someone said, "Oh, you should vend at Providence Flea," and I didn't know enough about it. So October 2020, I set up a booth and gave it a shot for my first time. But that's when I was doing primarily paintings,
Yeah.
no prints. And then I started to get into that Thanksgiving 2020. I saw people on Instagram making prints of
Yeah.
a block print, lino cut. And I thought, that's pretty cool. You can.
So you just taught yourself that.
I did, yeah.
That's
That was.
that's cool.
That was, it was trial and error. I got the kit, I got the blades, I got the substrate, basically it's linoleum, or I use a lot of rubber right now. But yeah, I just kept doing it, and something about it just stuck. Something
Yeah.
about it just clicked. I don't know if you've ever had that with maybe
still
your
searching.
fabric. You're still searching, but maybe your fabric work or
I
something
mean, I
that
used to ride horses, and that was something that
horses. Oh, okay.
clicked. But I don't do that anymore. I'm old, out of shape, can't do it. But like as far as trying to find something like that,
Yeah.
I don't know yet.
Yeah. Oh, you're still on the search.
Yeah.
That's great though. That's
Yeah.
great. I mean, what I saw was when I was selling artwork, the paintings, it was one of a kind, and that's great. But then they're gone. And then
Yeah.
I saw the printmaking. I thought, oh, you can make a negative mold or whatever,
Right.
and then you can keep making prints. And so you sell one, you have another one, and that little light bulb went off. I thought, oh, maybe that's a way to, just create a collection of work where it's sort of infinite.
Yeah. And there's so many possibilities. Like you've made this, and those that are listening, you can't see this, but what is this thing called?
So they call it a winged skull or a death's head, I think, or something like that.
So the thing on the gravestones in New England specifically, I don't know if they're everywhere. I don't think they are.
Not everywhere, no. But here, let me just get it down here. I can hold it up here. So, death's head or winged skull. It says one of the earliest gravestone symbols is the death's head or winged skull. These symbols reflect the strict Orthodox Puritan values which were in practice from the 1620s to the early 1700s. It's, life and death and
I just
that kind
love
of
them.
thing.
I always see that in Salem, or
Yeah.
Tombstone, and I was like, I need that for my house. So I hit you up, and you made it
Yeah,
for me.
yeah.
And then you made this wood piece, which is a wall hanging, but then you also make prints, and you do T-shirts too, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. I'm not gonna stand up.
Oh, sure, yeah.
Lazy, but it's so cool, and I think people forget you can just ask an artist to make you something, and what's the worst that can happen? No, I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, and I'm glad you did. I see that's the kind of thing where I feel I wasn't even thinking about doing anything like that. You asked, and I said, "Oh yeah, let me get my head around it and figure out what to do." And
Yeah.
and and I appreciate that. And then I also, if it's something very specific, like if you want to do a pet portrait, that's not something I'm going to be like, "Oh great," and I can go sell this,
Yeah.
other prints of it.
Well, Luna is pretty famous. No, I'm
Well,
kidding.
I mean, hey, maybe a whole line of Luna merch. Maybe.
Yeah, exactly.
But I have had clients or commission pieces, and the people are like, "Oh, you could totally make some prints, and if you want to sell them, that's great." I'm like,
Yeah.
"Okay." I don't make a habit of it, but that I thought, that's a universal, that's very
Yeah.
accessible. I was like, "All right, this is cool."
Salem crowd.
I'll definitely make that, and then I decided to add it to, this is Neil Young's Hey My Rock and Roll Can Never Die, because I've started to do some screen printing on vinyl, and I thought, oh, it
Yeah.
would, it kind of
Fits.
ties into that.
Yeah, it's perfect.
So anyway,
And it's using something that's, you didn't need the vinyl anymore, and now you've made it into an art piece.
Sure.
So,
Yeah.
and then you make these, what kind of art is this? When it's is it pop art? When it's a food item?
Oh, this one right here.
Like,
I wish we could. So for those watching, this yoke actually lights up. This one doesn't have a bulb behind it, but that's the whole idea. So there's a bulb behind it, so it's an egg that lights up. And yeah, I would say very, very pop art, modern home decor.
Yeah. And you've got a lot of that. Like you've got the Cheez-It table, the worm table, the Ouija board table. Like those are really cool. And
Yeah,
it
thanks.
sucks that we've got to be in this state of marketing ourselves that is so, it doesn't allow you to continuously, I don't know, it drains me.
Yeah.
Even with a podcast, like I'm not going to do cartwheels, people to listen,
Yeah.
but maybe I guess I should.
No, I'll do cartwheels if you want me to. They won't be pretty.
I gotta update my insurance.
No, I know what you're saying. There is this constantly waving the flag, like, "What about me? Hey,
Yeah.
look over here. Hey, I have this," and I get exhausted,
Yeah.
But I at the end of the
part
day,
of
it's like I have to do it. And I'm doing these little daily table,
I enjoy those.
videos, and it's like, here is this table. It's $300, and if you're interested in a worm or a
Yeah.
Cheez-It or something, hit me up because it's available. And so it's like there's making art that I love, and I'll never stop making art. I will certainly be doing it for a long time, and I love it. But then there's also the selling of the art, and that can be. I think those two, wearing those hats, it can be difficult.
It is. I mean, I thought, okay, I really love the idea of people slowing consumption, whether that's fashion or art, and really putting money in the hands of the artist or, not a big business.
Yeah.
I was like, I'll have a vintage store. Turns out, hate selling things. Hate it.
Yeah.
Hate
Yeah.
it. Hate sitting at a store. Not my vibe.
Yep.
But what I do love doing is hyping up everyone.
Oh.
That's one of my favorite things
Well, maybe
to
you
do.
found your. I
Yeah.
mean, maybe that's something that you're.
Yeah, I mean that's
yeah.
what I kind of pivoted to and with this podcast, and where I was going with that is like
Yeah.
you can't, like, if I wouldn't have done that, I wouldn't be sitting here with you today.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Some people might think of that as like, oh my God, Molly, you've had a vintage store, then you had a bigger studio, and now like eternal fuck up or something.
Are you downsizing?
Are you not doing well? No, I
Right.
am discovering what the fuck I want to do with my
Yeah.
life because I spent my whole life doing what everybody else wanted me to do. And,
Yeah.
I better not do that because it's going to look a certain way. Or, you just want to do something creative because your husband is doing something creative.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, no, I really just want to surround myself with creative people. It's so inspiring.
Yeah.
Like, just even talking to you about the film stuff, like, gets me just like thinking, like, why don't we make a film?
Totally, and we were talking about that earlier, like
Yeah.
this idea of potential and evolving, and
Yeah.
always feeling like we need growth.
Yeah.
We need to feel. I think it's totally okay to feel stagnant, but it's also maybe that is what inspires you to feel. Aim for growth and
Yeah.
aim. And I think as people, as humans, learning how you fit or where you fit in the world, and then where you're most comfortable, and what gives you the most joy.
Yeah.
That's really what it's all about.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, we're taught to chase a promotion.
Yeah. Yeah.
And while that's great and, necessary for survival, it'll only get you so far if you're not enjoying it.
Right.
There's nothing wrong with it if you're enjoying it. You're getting something out of it.
Sure.
But if it's just taking from you, then it's time to figure out
if it's
what-
taking and not filling
giving
your
back,
cup,
yeah.
if you're not able to replenish that, you're going to hit a point where you're just bone dry. It's
Yeah.
like the well is empty.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of people get to that point in their career where they're like, this isn't satisfying. This
Yeah.
is not what I want to do. in life. And it's, we here in the States, we live with this constant, not to say fear, but
Productivity culture.
Productivity culture, exactly. Like, keeping up with the Joneses,
Yeah, what'd you do today?
Right.
What did you get done?
Right.
What'd you get done this weekend?
Yeah.
What are you going to get done next week?
What did you achieve,
Yeah.
What mountain are you, cresting today and tomorrow and the next day? And it's like, it can fuck with your head.
Yeah, big time.
And I'll be honest, like, sometimes I would just love to make art and not even worry about trying to make a living or make money off of it. But I am not independently wealthy.
Yeah,
So therefore, I have to figure out a way to market my work that I don't feel like a complete, snake oil salesman.
Yeah, exactly. Because there is an aspect of it that just feels inherently grimy.
Yeah,
and I don't know what it is about it. I think it's because we've hit influencer culture and the way everyone is selling you something. However, when it's an artist selling their work they've worked on versus someone selling you a discount that they're paid to promote to you.
Yeah.
And, our president is a literal influencer. I mean, that's when you've hit fucking rock bottom when the president is fucking selling perfume and tennis shoes.
That is.
I mean, among all
sick.
the other
It's
bullshit,
sick.
And we won't go into it. Just know we don't fucking support that here.
No fucking way.
Yeah, exactly. And I can't stress that enough.
Yeah, we're anti-fascist.
Yeah.
Anti-oligarch.
Yeah.
You name it.
Yeah.
But it's awful to think we live in a culture now in a world where we even have to bring that
I know.
It's absolutely baffling, and that's probably a podcast on its.
Yeah, for sure. It is. But it's I see a lot of artists now. Well, one, the New England area doesn't get enough representation in how creative it actually is. People think New England from outsiders. At least I was, I still
What did you think of New England?
So I used to work for a company in Connecticut, but I worked away from Connecticut. So when I thought of New England, I thought of it as I thought New York was part of New England, and it's not.
Yeah.
Which I've only just recently.
I think you weren't alone on that thinking.
Yeah. And so when I thought of New England, I was like, I never want to live there. It's cold. And that's pretty much it. I didn't really think about it.
Meanwhile, we needed to be in air conditioning today because it's so effing hot.
It's so hot. My studio, and if you watch on YouTube, you will see a lot of different locations. I'm taking this out on the road.
Yeah, we're on the road with Molly.
Too hot to be in a mill building with no AC.
Yeah.
Don't have a death wish this week, so we're staying inside in the cool, but where was I going with that?
Well, this weather probably reminds you of Louisiana.
Honestly, I would die in the South. Like, I haven't lived there in 20 plus years. I lived in Texas before, before the pandemic. I was in Texas and Austin, and then I lived in Poland, which is similar to the same climate as here.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
They have 4 seasons. No, but New England, I didn't know what to expect.
Yeah.
Because I've lived so many different places. It's almost like I didn't enjoy them until, I retrospectively enjoyed them because in the moment I was not present.
Yeah.
So Vegas, it has a special place in my heart because of all the things that Vegas is.
Vegas.
Yeah.
Do me a favor, just if off the top of your head, doesn't have to be chronologically, but list as many places you've lived as you can remember.
Okay. Louisiana, North Dakota, Las Vegas, Texas, Indiana, Poland, Massachusetts, and I think I also Alabama, Wyoming. Yeah.
So
Some of those as a kid, but
many states and then Poland.
Yeah.
And for how long in Poland?
I was there for a couple years. Yeah.
So long enough to kind of immerse yourself in the culture.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it was during the pandemic, so not a great time to
Yeah.
be trying to live your European best life. And because like we thought we would be there for like 10 years or more, but
yeah.
just things kept happening. And
Wow.
yeah, it's a great place though.
Well, you've lived in a lot more places than I have, that's for sure.
I will say that this area has such, I don't know, it just is, there's so much going on. There's like an art show every week. There's
Totally,
a
yeah.
fashion show sometimes multiple times a week.
Yeah, and sometimes you can't, it's like, well, if I want to do that, I can't do this other thing.
And that, and and it's great because there's so many hubs of
Yeah.
creativity and they all have their great, like their own thing. So when you, what is your favorite film or video that you worked on?
That I worked on?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good question. I think the short film I made called Split Costs.
Okay, with
which-
the two people in the car.
Yeah, the two young women on a road trip in Massachusetts. So they basically go from like the Boston area to Amherst and Western Mass is even further than that,
Yeah.
into Pittsfield and that kind of thing. But anyway, that was filmed during the winter, and it was me with a camera, with a couple cameras rigged in the car, and two actresses, and that was pretty much it.
That's cool.
And yeah, it was just a super intimate shoot. Mila Hudson, who was the main, I'd say sort of the main character. They both kind of shared the screen, but Mila,
Was she the driver?
Yeah, Mila had she had to do some heavy lifting in terms of the character and what happened in the story. But yeah, the two of them really were wonderful together. It was a wonderful experience. It was just like the opposite of a Hollywood production. It was just bare bones.
Are they local actors?
Mila was from the Hudson Valley. She was down in, I believe it was Poughkeepsie. Unfortunately, she passed away.
Oh, no.
Yeah, a very, very tragic loss of an actress who was on the ascent. But she did this film, and really it took off for her. I mean, it really punctuated her career to a point where, it was in film festivals, it was winning awards, she was winning awards, she was getting out there. And she had such this amazingly positive, upbeat personality. Lori Hall, who was the other actress, I don't think it was ever on her radar. It was like, oh, I'm going to be an actress, and I think she wanted to give it a try.
Yeah.
And for whatever reason, we met, and I'm like, she is like good for this role.
Yeah.
And I don't think she made it a career move for herself, but we had a wonderful time,
Yeah, that's cool.
And that was, I think I've done a lot of, I think one of the other wonderful moments of filmmaking for me was when I made the Mulligan's Island music video.
That one's really fun.
Did you? Yeah, you saw that one? Yeah.
I love the carnival aspect, and also there's some stop motion in there.
Yeah.
That's
there's
super difficult.
There's just like, there's some, I tried to throw it all in, and make it feel like a very fantasy-based experience where
It just looked fun.
Yeah, it
like you
did.
wanted to be in it.
Oh,
you know?
good, yeah. That's a great, it's great to hear that, because you almost want to feel like you're missing out on that
exactly.
world,
I wish there were more music videos. I want MTV to have music videos
Right, you want
again.
MTV to be MTV again.
Yeah.
Well, I remember filming that in the bassist backyard, and we set up all these sheets that were, part of the set of the band in the middle. And I remember at one moment I was filming from afar, and this was kind of like the last shot of it where you saw all the shadowy creatures and moving around and everyone dancing.
Yeah.
And I remember there was, I think, one of the moms was next to me, and I remember looking over at her, and she just had this glow on her face, where we were experiencing this magical thing that was
Yeah.
happening, and it was, for me, those moments are just precious.
Yeah.
Those are just like, wow, this is why we do this. I think that's more of like, as creatives, we want to create an experience for someone else, whether it's
Right.
a singular piece of artwork or a bigger thing like a film,
Yeah.
or song that transcends. And I feel like sometimes those moments are that's the magic you're trying to capture.
So would you say, and I guess you can compare this to the art you're doing now, the block print or film. Do you have more fun in the process or with the finished product?
It's definitely the process.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It's because you're chasing that.
Yeah.
You're chasing, you're the
All
tiger
those
tail,
moments.
you're,
Yeah.
what's that?
All those moments.
Yeah.
You know?
It's the trial and error. It's
Yeah.
the, this didn't work, that didn't work. It's the exploration.
Yeah.
Of like, I didn't know this was going to work out, but it did. And
Yeah.
how cool is that? And we caught it on film, or I captured it in
Yeah. I
something.
love these lamps, and you just sent one of these egg lamps to Japan.
I did, yeah.
How did they find you?
So I vended at the Plymouth Pride,
Okay.
which was a wonderful day. We had great weather, it was a good turnout, and it was my first time there. And this guy, I believe it was like husband and wife, and funky dude came by, big beard. He's like, "That egg lamp, that's awesome. Can you ship that to Japan?" And I was like, "I think so, yeah. I never had done that." And he's
Yeah.
like, "I'm going to get that."
You said it was an APO address. Was it someone on a military base?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, but yeah, there's going to be an egg lamp somewhere in Japan.
That's cool.
And it's like, I love that, and I think that's the reaction I think any artist wants, is like
Right.
someone walking into your store, or even like when you had your, was it a thrift store or what was it?
Yeah, it was like a vintage shop.
vintage
Yeah.
shop. You want that, like, I gotta have that.
Or even just like, I love the vibe in here. That
Yeah.
was like mission complete. That was
Totally.
good enough for me.
Yep. I love what you're doing here. This
Yeah.
really is, a feel-good place.
It's just, you wish that would pay the rent, but
Yes.
it doesn't.
And with my shop in the mill is exactly where I'm at.
Yeah.
It was a wonderful experience. I love setting it up. I love taking over a big space like that. But it all comes with a price tag.
Yeah.
And if it's not funding itself, if it's not being
Yeah.
able to,
And you're at the Kilburn mill.
I'm at
right?
the Kilburn
Yeah.
mill now, and I'll be there. Now I found out I'll be there like all of August. So
Okay.
So I'll be slowly kind of taking, packing things up, and so, folks, if you want a table,
Yeah.
hop on it now.
Or if you want a custom.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that too. T-shirt, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. But when you had your space, was it something that you always wanted to try?
Yeah,
or-
I thought, I was like, oh, yeah, I think I would really love just, in my mind, it was simple. Simple, little shop. No, it's not simple. Not simple at all.
No.
No, the build out plus, the pricing and the taxes and the
Where was it?
Winsmith Mill. So the same place that my studio is.
Oh, okay. So it was here so it was Massachusetts.
Yeah,
Ah,
yeah.
okay. I didn't
Yeah.
know. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely far from what I used to do. But
Well, I think I heard you say that you didn't like the loneliness, or you didn't
Yeah.
like.
Yeah. it's boring.
And I think you said that on the previous
Yeah,
podcast, and I heard it.
yeah.
I was like, I totally get that, because I don't want to be sitting around in this
No.
big store waiting for people to come in.
And you start thinking about all the things you could be doing,
Yeah,
rather be doing,
totally. So
or
I'm
even
there
art
with you on that.
projects that you want to work on, or
There's only so much sketching and
Yeah.
to-do lists you can make before.
yeah. And then I don't know how the Kilburn Mill is, but at least where I had my shop, there were people to talk to, like other shop owners.
Yeah.
And I don't know how if
It's
that.
it's pretty lonely up there on
Yeah.
the third floor.
They're very spaced out.
But at the end of the day, there is the monthly nut,
Yeah.
that you got to come up with on top of every all the other life bills.
Yeah, and then also like are you even paying yourself?
Right.
Not usually.
No. And so, I feel like I'm making the smart move of just going, you know what, it's not working out. It's totally
Yeah.
okay. I tried it out, and maybe retail isn't my thing.
Yeah. But like I feel like too, like there's so many places that should have your prints.
Should have what?
Your prints.
Oh, my print. Oh, thank you.
Your
Yeah.
prints, your if you have a local shop in and around New England or wherever and you see this, hit up Pixel Palmer.
Pixel Palmer. It's one of I do have to kind of celebrate this. Is I got a really big order from a place called Rebel Supply down in Asbury Park, New Jersey.
Okay.
And it turned I didn't know anything about
Yeah.
them, but showed up and ordered all these cool prints and stickers and stuff.
Oh,
And
that's
Turns out they're
amazing.
like a vintage store, but they also do new stuff.
Yeah.
And somehow they came across my work, and I'm like, I love that, you
Yeah.
know. And
That's
I
awesome.
and I think that's those are the wins that I feel.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm going to be more of a wholesaler and
Yeah.
ending up in stores in Chicago or Austin or
Yeah.
Portland, Oregon. And I would love that.
Yeah.
You know, I feel like my art is very accessible. You
Mm-hmm.
know, it's like divine or cats or dogs or,
Yeah.
I try to make art that speaks to me. And if it speaks to other people, awesome.
Yeah. I think it does. I mean, you've got oh my God, the light went out again.
The spirit has left us, maybe. Or
You want to come back?
you might.
Turn the light on if you think my podcast is good. Oh, it's not good. Okay.
Wrong question to ask.
Do you want me to get out of here? Turn it on. Okay, I'm not. I'm just gonna
All right.
ignore.
We'll pretend that didn't exist.
Yeah. So with moving out of the shop and you being very public about it,
Yeah.
no, I appreciate like
Oh, okay.
positivity because
didn't
like
know
it's not a negative. It's not a negative thing. It's like, okay, would
Yeah.
it be smart to just hold this information tight to the chest and grit and bear it and continue to try?
And be miserable.
Yeah.
And be feeling stressed about
Yeah,
paying bills and
trapped.
stuff.
Yeah.
No,
think
I'm glad you mentioned that because it's definitely something I was on the fence with. It's like,
Yeah.
how transparent should I be? Huh? Should I just disappear? You know,
Yeah.
should I just be like here today, gone tomorrow? Or should I just be a little more public with it? And I just think the nature of
everybody's going through it.
right.
There's so many people going through
And
it.
I think
unfortunately,
it's healthy to have that connection. It's healthy
Yeah.
for other people to know, like, oh, I'm right there with you, dude.
Yeah.
Or, I know there's some people who are more successful than others and having better shows or better.
even the bigger places that have a following and everything, they're struggling too.
Are they? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't, with Amazon and TikTok and
Yeah.
all of these places that are, hijacking other people's work
Yeah,
and,
totally.
and selling it for, $5.
Temu. And,
Yeah, Temu's the worst and Shein. But like, I still have a lot of hope for the small artists.
Yeah.
I think
Well, that's good. Thanks. I mean, I'm a cheerleader for any artist.
Yeah.
So if you're hearing this, I know it's like I'm here to talk about what I do, but look, if you're out there making anything that you believe in,
yeah.
and whether it's a restaurant, whether it's a bookstore, whether it's a frame shop, whether it's who knows what, whether it's
Yeah.
a service-based or you're just creating something, like, do it, go for it. And
We only get to live one time.
yeah, it's, and if it's not working, then you got to make those decisions to pivot and do something else.
Yeah.
But it's not a failure,
No.
because
It's only a failure if you are on your deathbed and you're like, oh, I wish I would have tried that.
Totally, yeah. And
then it's a
Nelson
failure.
Mandela was quoted as saying, "You either win or you learn."
Exactly.
And I learned,
I be learning a lot.
and I think I won. Oh, School of Hard Knocks, right?
Yeah. Oh my God. It's the light keeps flickering. It was
Does it
on and then
really?
it, yeah, it was on and then it turned off.
Oh, that's really neat.
Maybe it likes our conversation.
I think it does. I think when we laugh.
Laugh, yeah.
Laughter.
Weird.
I think that's a, we have to learn from, the failures. I don't think it's the failure would have been not trying,
Yeah.
right?
And it's only like a failure if you let it be a failure.
Yeah.
Because for so long in my life, and I'm sure everybody goes through this, you have this pressure of outside opinions
Totally, yeah.
hanging over your head. What
Mm-hmm.
are people going to think if I don't have this shop anymore? What are they going to think if I do this instead
Mm-hmm.
of continuing down the path of aerospace that I did for so long
Mm-hmm.
and I switch it up? And you just got to stop caring.
Yeah. Yeah. You got to listen to your gut, your heart,
Yeah.
your.
And if you have people in your corner that are talking to you like that, cut them out.
Yeah. Find the people who want to lift you up instead
Yeah.
of. And I think it's when friends or colleagues or whatever discuss or talk about your life goals or where you're at, it's so important to just listen and not be so heavy-handed when it comes to your opinion on what other people should
Yeah,
do.
there's so much nuance in what happens in your day-to-day life, your choices and the path you take.
Yeah.
Like, I can't work a normal job anymore.
Right.
So I had to pivot
Yeah.
into something else. And so I chose to do something I'm interested in over the path of least resistance.
Some people, it just works for them, and
Yeah.
good.
And they
good on
believe
you,
in
you know?
the mission and the job, but for me, I just didn't do it. And that's not good.
Exactly. Yeah, you don't want to be like just so wound up over it.
Yeah,
just
and
tight coiled emotions and everything.
Yeah.
Because that can lead to depression. That could lead to
Anxiety is a big
addiction,
one.
anxiety, all of those things. you
Yeah.
know?
When you live a life for someone else instead of
Mm.
yourself, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
anxiety tends to be your number one.
Yeah. You lose who you are.
Yeah, I did not have a personality. Like, I did not know I didn't have hobbies. I had some friends, but
Yeah.
for the most part, I was career.
When did you have an epiphany? Was there like a moment of clarity? You're like, oh, holy shit, I got to do something, or was it like a slow?
I think I was miserable for a long time, and
Really?
I knew I was miserable. But
Yeah.
then I started chasing the degrees, started chasing, that pat on the back from a boss or whatever,
Yeah, yeah.
like high performer, which I wasn't good at any one thing. I don't think I just worked too much. And so I was always looking for that approval from someone else. And then eventually I just couldn't do it anymore.
Yeah, you ran out of gas.
Yeah.
You're like, I'm done.
Yeah.
Yeah, I never worked. Whether it's good or bad, I never worked like corporate. I never worked a big job.
Yeah.
The extent of my full-time job was like working for a small, like kind of family-owned thing, editing video. I've worked for retail,
Yeah.
Ace Hardware and those kind of things, but I never did the big, that traditional job, and it just wasn't in my.
I always envied people that didn't do it. And I think that's why I wanted to try retail, because I always thought I just want to have, not simple in the degrading sense, but it's something that there's no pressure on me. There's no life or death decisions that I'm going to make, whether that's an immediate life or death situation or a 10-year down the road life or death decision. I
Yep.
just didn't want that pressure anymore. And so I was like, man, it would be so cool. And even when I was in the military, I was like, man, people that can just go to work and go home and not give a fuck.
Right.
That's like that's it.
Yeah,
Like,
my friend would always say like, drop hammer, and like, okay,
Yeah.
I'm doing the work and then I'm not doing the work.
Yeah.
It's just like real binary.
Yeah.
And that's, hey, if that works for people, if they
Yeah.
can get through the day working a warehouse job or whatever.
Yeah. And then you get home and then you're like, I hate my life every
Yeah.
day. But
Yeah.
so with you moving, so you got till the end of August. So everybody go visit the Kilburn Mill.
Kilburn Mill, 3rd floor, Suite 40. Come on by.
But in general, people should just go to places like that more often.
Yeah. There are plenty of spaces where artists, craftspeople are setting up. Like
Go to
that.
the events.
There's a big event happening. Harbor View or Harbor Days in Mattapoisett is a 2-day event, and it's just like vendors and food and music.
But I love to, like, I just love talking to people and finding out, you know.
do, yeah. I sensed that. I heard that when I listened to the other
Yeah.
podcasts. Yeah.
It's really cool. You never know someone's journey until you talk to them.
Yeah.
And we're so conditioned to not talk to each other.
And ask questions too. I
Yeah.
think some people aren't really great about asking questions. You know, so there's some folks out there who are very self-centered, and
Yeah.
so it's nice to have a back and forth and feel like you're being heard, but also feel they care about
Yeah.
where you've been, what you're talking about, that sort of thing.
Yeah, I think it's so crazy. Like, you look back at your life, and if you don't get to talk about it ever in any kind of length,
Yeah.
what was it all for? You know?
Yeah.
If people never ask you things about your life, you know? Like,
It helps put things into perspective, and it helps. I think sometimes it can help clarify your memories of like what impacted you.
Yeah.
You know, or what, like even just talking about that story with my cat Sammy and
Yeah.
the song that came on the radio, and
Yeah.
it had something to do with my grandmother. It's like I don't think about that all the time.
Yeah.
But it's kind of like, wow, that happened, and that was really powerful.
Yeah.
And it didn't define my life or anything like that, but it certainly added to the color of it. you
Yeah.
know?
For sure.
No, and I think, and I've mentioned this before about Pixel Palmer, because some folks think it's my nickname.
Oh, yeah. I never asked you how you decided that name.
Yeah, so I'm glad you asked, Mom. So when I decided to get on Instagram, I was doing more video and more film, and Pixel Palmer just had a ring to it.
Yeah,
and
it's great.
Pixels are part of what make up video, and I was like, okay, Pixel Palmer. So that was my handle on Instagram, and has been. And then when I started to do more artwork, it almost didn't make sense. You know, it's like pixels or video, and I'm doing hand drawn, I'm doing
Yeah.
carving and all that kind of stuff. But then so then I started to think of the brand, like, okay, Pixel Palmer, I'm going to stick with it because that's what people know on Instagram. And then I thought, pixels are like mosaic tiles, right?
Yeah.
They make up an image, or you have to kind of step back. Like lots of these little pixels make up something that you can make sense of.
Yeah.
And then I thought, that's a little bit of what I've done over the years,
Yeah.
of like all these little things like music videos and, short films and art and this and that. When you step back, it's sort of like these pixels make up a little bit of who I am, or at least what I put out there into the
Yeah.
world. And so then it sort of makes sense now.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's such a good name.
Oh,
Yeah.
thanks.
It is. I never thought once about how that's film only. It can't be print.
Good.
So I
that's
never even
cool.
considered it.
Oh, that's good.
Too, I want to wrap this up because I think we've been going a long
Yeah,
time.
we have been. It's too much, Molly.
Well, I want to make sure I still have enough room for the audio. 'Cause then that
this
was-
is a chunky file.
Yeah. All right. High
All right.
five.
High five.
I hope you enjoyed this week's episode of Local Threads. Check the show notes on where you can find all of Jeff's work. If you are local, Jeff will be open. His shop, Pixel Palmer, will be open till the end of August. Go check him out. And if you're not local, follow Pixel Palmer on Instagram and check the show notes for his website where you can get prints and more. And if you've been thinking about pivoting, starting something new, take this as your permission slip. The path isn't always linear, and it doesn't have to make sense to anyone but you. Bye.